Hello, today we are reacting to another Alex Costa fragrance video. I've actually reacted to one of his videos before, and that was a much earlier video from him. It was from a long time ago, and I kind of felt that video I displayed that I didn't like the fact that his list was quite basic, boring. It kind of felt like he was copying Jeremy a lot, but that was a long time ago, and this video is a lot more recent. This is 10 months ago. It's called 10 Best Men's Fragrances for 2023. As we're approaching the end of the year, I think this will be quite a aptly named fragrance video that I think will hopefully show us a more updated style of reviewing and taste from Alex Costa. He's one of the best fashion related YouTubers out there, so I'm hoping he'll do a good video here, show some more interesting choices for fragrances. Let's begin.
2023 is here, and I want you to be the best smelling guy in the room. And the thing is, there are so many fragrances out there in the market right now that it can be challenging, right, to find something that works for you. So coming from a guy that owns over 100 fragrances, I want to list the 10 best options for this year.
Yeah, I think it makes a good point, actually. I really hate the fact that the fragrance industry just inundates the consumer with way too many choices. I actually don't like that. That's why in our own brand, in Atrium, we only do 5 fragrances. That's the plan for now, because I really hate that as a customer myself. I hate having just way too much stuff to deal with. Like one brand having 40 fragrances to choose from is enough, but then having hundreds of brands doing that as well just means that you don't really know what you're buying. A lot of the time you don't know what purpose or reason a fragrance is designed for. So yeah, of course, that's why people watch YouTube fragrance videos, to try and consolidate and curate information about fragrances, because the market is overwhelming. What do you think?
Starting with number 1, Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. Whew, it's like a gold bar, man. This thing is a beauty. Look at that. Look at that reflection. Look how nice this is. And it smells incredible. It smells like the original Noir Extreme, which is absolutely beautiful already. I have it, I love it, but it's a tad less sweet and more smoky, more leathery, which means more masculine.
Yeah, I would say Noir Extreme is unisex, leaning a tiny bit masculine, and Noir Extreme Parfum, it goes a tiny bit more masculine again, a little bit more in that direction with the leather notes. But overall, it's a flanker that smells beautiful, but that's because it's very similar to the original already. It doesn't do a whole lot differently, except, as Alex Costa is saying, that leather note gives it a slight smokiness, a slight different feel to it. You don't need to own both fragrances, definitely not. Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our own brand, Atrium Fragrance. The brand vision is to have us men explore new ideas together to help push the industry forward. I'd rather you guys check out our samples first instead of going straight for full bottles, because I don't want you guys to be customers. I want you to be fanatics and really love the stuff you are buying before you go ahead and commit to them. The link to Atrium Fragrance is in the description below. Make sure to share your thoughts. Thanks.
Next up for 2023, I would say Hermes H24 is still gonna be very, very hot. As you can see, mine is almost done. It's a new fragrance. It just came out recently. It's very fresh. It's this blend of floral and woodsy notes, and it creates this really great balance of freshness and warmth.
I don't know if he's referring to the Eau de Toilette or Eau de Parfum. That looks like an EDT. I wasn't a fan of the EDT when I owned a bottle of it. It's very green, limey, a little bit metallic. It's kind of got this musks that give off this clean white shirt vibe, but I wasn't a fan. It was an interesting idea by Hermes. It was not as good as their old creations that were made by Jean-Claude Ellena. So it's an interesting office warm weather scent, but it's something that has to be tried first. But the Eau de Parfum might be better.
Next on the list, Parfum de Marly Haltane. This is for guys who want to make a statement. It's very rich. Like, you spray this on and immediately you get this very complex scent, and I love it. It's so good. It's so good. It's got a hint of spicy cinnamon, and it's this sweet vanilla that it's just amazing, man. The ladies love this too. My girlfriend loves it when I wear it.
Okay, so Haltane is basically oud for greatness, but made gourmand with this praline note in there. It has a sort of suede effect to it, less of an oud effect in my opinion as well, not as mature as oud for greatness. So it's a similar vibe to that. It's a solid fragrance, but again, you don't need to own both fragrances. And I'm not sure if it's one of my favorites from Parfum de Marly. I kind of feel like it's a very different vibe to what Parfum de Marly usually do. I feel that it just doesn't fit the brand of like what you usually expect from them. But hey, I respect that it's quite different, but at the same time it's not different. That's the issue with it. I wasn't sure how I felt about Haltane. I think I give it an 8 out of 10 eventually. It's a solid fragrance, but not my favorite from Parfum de Marly.
Next, my baby. Wow, I love this scent. Woo! Goosebumps, man. I'm not gonna lie, I got goosebumps. Just from smelling this thing. This is the cleanest scent that I've ever smelled. It's fresh, it's sharp, it's, does that make sense when it's sharp? Like, it's not a soft, soothing scent. It's like, it's pretty in your face, but it's clean.
That's interesting because Prada L'Homme to me doesn't seem sharp. It actually seems quite soft and powdery and soapy, but I guess everyone's skin is different and maybe that's what Alex is experiencing. I would say if you want a sharp office fragrance, you go for something like Burberry Touch. I think that's quite sharp and peppery. But Prada L'Homme is a very mainstream, very safe, soapy iris scent that is nice if you want like a linear fragrance for the office or for school as well.
Next up, Armani Code Parfum. And honestly, I think the scent is underrated. I think this could be a really good signature scent for you guys who don't really know what to get yet. You know, like you don't really have a signature scent. You need something that's good, something that is long lasting, something that's not boring, but not crazy.
I think that's a really good description actually of Armani Code Parfum. So it's like a signature that has some interest in it, but it's quite safe overall. I'd say it leans a little bit more on the mature side, like the Armani Code line in general. But overall, he's right. It is a safe tonka bean based woody fragrance with a hint of iris in there and a hint of spice as well. It's a balanced, fresh and clean, spicy, aromatic is how I would describe the Code line in general. I think Parfum is probably the best flanker right now from all the existing fragrances from the line. And I think, yeah, Alex's description is spot on. It's an underrated signature right now.
Speaking of Creed prices, just because it's expensive doesn't mean that it's not good. It is legendary. Creed Aventus is timeless. It's sophisticated. I mean, you can wear this to pretty much anything, day or night, and it's going to make you smell amazing.
I do think actually I underappreciated that 10th anniversary bottle design when it was around. I actually quite like it now looking back, but Creed Aventus, we've spoken about it on this channel so many times. You risk your money when you buy Creed Aventus nowadays because you don't know what the quality is or the longevity is going to be nowadays. It's probably still got a nice opening with every bottle you buy, but I can't recommend it anymore for the money when there's so many alternatives to it nowadays.
Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum, one of the best leather fragrances out there right now. And there's a ton of them. There's a ton of leather fragrances out there. This one specifically, I just think it hits different. It's a sweet leather scent. It's beautiful. It is so good. I got goosebumps for the second time in this video. It's like this unique blend of leather, cardamom, oud, amber. You know, it's really masculine. It doesn't smell like a dirty old leather jacket though. It smells more like a brand new designer leather jacket, you know? This is a scent that I wear a lot.
That's an interesting description. And I don't like the fact that Alex keeps saying he's getting goosebumps from his fragrances. That's weird. Like, don't try to overdo it for these fragrance reviews, bro. I don't like that. But Ombre Leather Parfum is a great fragrance. I don't think there's a lot of leather fragrances. He said there's lots of them on the market. I think leather is kind of an underexplored fragrance note in general, especially in designer fragrances. But Ombre Leather itself was like an original, classy, simple leather fragrance that kind of smelled like the interior of a black leather car. I would say Ombre Leather Parfum, actually to me, it leans a tiny bit more feminine. It's overall unisex, I would still say, but it goes a little bit more feminine compared to the original. It's got this powdery, dense intensity from the orchid notes. It does definitely feel like it's more cold weather suited, whilst the original is more versatile. And it's very long lasting, the Parfum. The Parfum lasts around 12 hours at least on my skin.
Acqua Di Gio Profumo. This is a beautiful, beautiful scent. Now, I'm a huge fan of Acqua Di Gio, the original. That was my favorite fragrance. It was my first fragrance ever, actually, when I was a teenager. My mom gave it to me. And so this holds a special place in my heart. But this version here is more elegant. It's more grown up. It's more, I would say, classy.
That's an accurate description of Acqua Di Gio Profumo. It is the original Acqua Di Gio, made more soft on its projection, but still long lasting, a little bit more dark, a bit more intense and mature, mainly from the patchouli and the incense, I believe, from its note breakdown. It's not my favorite version of Acqua Di Gio. For me, it was Essenza. Essenza always had the most character, in my opinion, and it was extremely strong, but it's discontinued. But then the new Parfum of Acqua Di Gio pretty much resurrects it in a way, and I think now that is the best concentration, best version of Acqua Di Gio. It has the most character, has a bit more freshness than the Profumo. Profumo is a bit more serious, probably more office appropriate in fairness, but I personally prefer the Parfum.
This next fragrance, it is boozy, it's beautiful, it's grown up. This is Givenchy, Gentleman Reserve. This is another one that, like Acqua Di Gio Profumo, it's not for boys, it's not for teenagers, it's definitely more for men because of that boozy, sexy, moody scent. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to an upscale lounge, you're drinking, you know, sipping on some whiskey, maybe smoking a cigar, or maybe not. Don't smoke, it's bad for you. It smells incredible regardless, and I think it's an amazing fall winter scent. But I will say Acqua Di Gio Profumo is an incredible scent.
When I tried Reserve Privee, I remember it feeling again like a poor man's Dior Homme Intense. I feel like a lot of the gentleman line is like that. It is still an evening iris fragrance. It's mainstream, but it's quite simple from what I remember. It reminded me more of being a dense, powdery iris sandalwood scent rather than anything else. It wasn't as boozy as I remember it being. I don't remember being that boozy anyways, but I remember it being quite basic. Mass appealing though, probably most people will like it. I still cannot vouch for the line that much. I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10 or something like that. I think it's a decent fragrance, but I was never a huge fan. I still recommend like the evening Dior Homme line, like Intense or Parfum. I'm wearing Dior Homme Parfum right now, and it's definitely a higher level compared to the Gentleman line in my opinion, but more challenging, definitely.
Now on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense, which is the perfect summer fragrance. Hands down, I mean, this might be the best, the greatest hot weather scent of all time.
Again, I think you're overhyping the fragrance, and that's someone who, I've said that as someone who loves Light Blue Intense.
It's just, it smells like I'm on a boat. It smells like, you know, I got a yacht and I'm just chilling in the middle of the ocean. There's a nice little cool breeze coming in and it's beautiful. And immediately you think of Italy, you know, south of Italy on the Amalfi Coast, Capri, like this is what you think of. And even the ads are probably shot there, right? The Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense is a beautiful scent. Highly recommended.
So I think his description of Light Blue Intense is accurate. It's a slightly more mature, aquatic, classy, luxurious, oceanic scent. I do think something like Nautica Voyage is more appropriate to younger guys. Light Blue Intense is a little bit more mature. I think guys in their 20s and up should rock it. It is a great scent, it's legendary, it's a beautiful DNA, but it's very much a designer DNA. And when he says something like he thinks it's the best summer fragrance ever created, I think he needs to tone it down a bit. I think he needs to try more summer fragrances. Summer fragrances can be quite tricky to find good stuff in the niche realm for it, but there's definitely better stuff than Light Blue O Intense. I would say 40 Knots does what Light Blue Intense does, but better. I think Burlington 1819 is definitely a better fragrance for the summer as well, but of course there are more expensive fragrances. But of course, for the designer realm, I do think Light Blue Intense it could be one of the best summer fragrances ever made. What do you guys think?
Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon.
Okay, that's the end of the video. So what do you guys think? I'm not sure if you saw my previous part on reacting to Alex's fragrances. Make sure you go watch it if you haven't. But do you think Alex's opinion and taste has gotten better? I know I seem like a bit of a hater, and like, you know, mainstream fragrances are great, but I'd like to see each reviewer always give off their individual choices, their really individual, unique personality when they make their recommendations. And I think Alex has gotten better personally. I think he's gotten more interesting choices. He's definitely explored the industry more, as you would expect from anyone going through the fragrance game. I think this video is better than the last one, and I think this was enjoyable to watch. I think these are solid recommendations. It's a good balanced list, so, you know, the 10 best. If someone's watching a video like this, the 10 best for 2023, you'd have a nice balance of fresher stuff and more sweet stuff. So what do you guys think of Alex Costa's choices in this video? Make sure to check out the previous part where I reacted to Alex Costa. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.